Do you recognize this situation? An invitation to respond to an RFP lands on your desk cold, unexpectedly. You quickly scroll through it, and there seems to be a very good fit between what the company is asking for and the solution, service, or product that you're offering. Do you submit a bid or not? How likely are you to win that RFP given that you haven't had the opportunity to influence the requirements? That's the question I'll be answering in a moment. My name is Armin Breivik. If you're in B2B sales, this video is for you, because on this channel I answer all your questions about how procurement thinks, plans, and acts. I share insider information based on my more than 2 decades in procurement and sales. My mission is to help you sell more in less time by taking control of your relationships with procurement. Today I'll answer the question, how likely are you to win an RFP if you haven't influenced the requirements? And to be brutally honest with you, the chances of winning are dismal. One figure that I've heard quoted is that there's a 4.2% chance of success. That may sound too pessimistic, particularly if you're already aware that most procurement professionals don't like to take more than 5 to 10 suppliers through an RFP process. And the reason for that is that it takes a lot of work, not only to draft the RFP and to get the requirements right, but the evaluation process is also a drain on internal resources. The more suppliers, the more work, the more time spent. And if there's something procurement professionals don't have enough of, then it's time. So if there are 5 to 10 suppliers in a normal RFP process, you would have thought that the average odds of winning would be 10 to 20%. But that's not the case. So what's going on? In the real world, RFPs aren't as fair, as unbiased as they look like on paper. So some companies win much more than their fair share of RFPs, which of course drives down the average win rate overall. Bearing that in mind, an average win rate of 4.2% sounds very plausible, in my opinion. The companies that win more than their fair share are likely to have influenced the RFP requirements before the RFP was even issued. So their fingerprints are all over the RFP document. They've almost drafted it in parts or in its entirety. Perhaps not literally, in the sense that they haven't actually written the document. But in some cases they might as well have, because the specifications are a perfect match to their unique selling points. Okay, other bidders' ability to influence the requirements pushes down the average win rate. But that's not the only factor that can adversely affect your chances of winning. Procurement's motivation for issuing an RFP is another factor. They may, for example, want to benchmark the incumbent supplier against the market to see if they're still getting the best deal. And if they're not, they'll just use those other bids as a tool to negotiate a better deal with the incumbent supplier, a supplier which they most likely are very happy with overall. And in that scenario, the odds of winning are probably a lot lower than the average 4.2%. But that doesn't mean the chances are zero. I've seen a company snatch a contract worth tens of millions away from an incumbent in that kind of situation. They simply proved themselves by having a much more compelling proposition than the incumbent. So the buying organization decided to switch, even though that was never their intention initially. Of course, not all RFPs are concealed benchmarking RFPs. Some are RFPs for new solutions, services, or products, where the buying organization has a very open mind with respect to supplier selection, and the requirements are written in a way that does not particularly favor one supplier over another. For those types of RFPs, the average win rate is probably closer to the 10 to 20%, depending on how many suppliers are taken through the process, and whether your company is a household name or a newbie that the company has never even heard about. So while your likelihood of winning an RFP where you haven't influenced the requirements are generally very low, the actual percentage depends on a number of factors, such as what type of RFP you are bidding on, whether you are the incumbent supplier, and your general reputation and brand visibility in the marketplace. If winning more RFPs and dealing more effectively with procurement is important to you, then you could really benefit from using the proven process that I share during my free online events called Sell More in Less Time by Taking Control of Your Relationships with Procurement. Just click on the link below to register. You'll get a ton of value from it, and I'll also send you a free 23-page guide that goes even deeper into the subject. I host these events daily at times that are convenient to you, and you'll be able to live chat with me while the event is running. If you like this video, then please hit like and subscribe below. Thank you.